almost there. Oh, you're filming me.
Hey, you can't cross track over here. Cross over in front of me. No, stay on that side.
You trying to like get me to race the truck?
No, I want to get a shot of you at the field. Oh no, it is devastating because apparently pedaling is prohibited. It is prohibited! But we are going to do it anyhow. I do not think that word means what do you think it means. What do you think?
I think you are right.
I am right? Am I right?
By pushing the pedaling underground, it caused a network of black market peddlers. Grandma working in her garage, pedaling away.
It's horrible.
The start of it. This. Right. I also got, you want honey in your water?
Honey is the real stuff. Comes from bees. Bees come from flowers. This is what's called flower power right here.
We're seeing a sign that says Fort McMurray First Nation, Gregoire Lake. That's you? And then do we go left or right? Head south? Do that. Get in there.
You sure it's this?
No, I'm just feeling it.
Okay.
Healing gathering.
Healing gathering. Down the hill. Great.
Wow, right on the water.
Hold. Whoa. What did we do? We made it.
We made it to Anzac at the healing gathering. We didn't really know where we were going. Cleo called us right exactly when we got in cell phone
What am I
range.
doing?
Are you gonna try and go right here?
I was thinking about it.
She's
Good morning, Kyle. After a nice 4 a.m. rise, sun's not up yet, and everyone else is having a little bit of a party to the north of us, and we're not there yet. I think you might be right. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. Got a full moon. Sun's not up yet. We got a 150-mile day. Up, car back.
Is this the sharpest?
Very sharp. Yeah, very, very sharp. They're very sharp. Kaya semana. Oh, yeah. Oh, hickory. You know, I threw about 20 fish away. I don't know how many we threw away, Peter, about 28?
I would say, yeah.
And then we fed the eagles over there. We put a bunch over there. Pretty soon they'll see a flock of birds over there. Then I'll be taking this over there in a few minutes.
My understanding is that we're headed to see some tailings ponds. Tailings ponds are wastewater from the extraction process of creating bitumen and diluted bitumen, and they're basically unlined, meaning the toxic water can leach into groundwater, it can leach into the Athabasca River, and in 40 years that this or more that they've been extracting bitumen, there's been, as far as I know, no mitigation of that wastewater. There's vast quantities of this toxic material, and it's a huge disaster. I think it's really easy to either get in the head and just think about it academically. What are we looking at? What's in the water? You know, what does it physically look at? Or focus on the process of taking pictures and being there to document the journey and that part of the journey. Very easy to not think about it or not feel what's happening with that. Or I might feel and then start crying. I don't know. I think it'll be easier to go with a group of people than even if our group went on our own. So I think it's going to be helpful to go with a group, and I think they know more what they're looking at and they can help share that with us. And I think just being in community while witnessing this destruction and this pollution will be helpful.
What has it been like so far?
We came in yesterday in a harried way. We just rode over almost 10 kilometers of like washboard gravel road with our truck and bounced around at the end of a very long day of travel. And when we got here, people were waiting for us, and that felt good. And we were welcomed and embraced and held in a welcome ceremony and in a smudging, and that just helped to ground quite a bit. And people have been very nice and open, and it seems relaxed. I think there's, for me at least, growing up, and I don't know if this is something that everyone relates with, but I at least have had a lot of anxiety in working with communities of color and indigenous people. I think part of that might be my own taking on that minority persona. So I have just as much or more problem with it as dominant white culture. And so I come to a place like this, and I'm afraid that I'm going to be disrespectful. I'm afraid that I'm an outsider or the other, and they've just been nothing but welcoming. Yeah, it's been great. Well, we're here today and tomorrow, and my understanding is that the gathering ends tomorrow. And so we have this, there's a lot of just different activities happening, from a lot of teach-ins and showing the participants here how to fish and how to cure meat and how to process fish and how to cook, and a lot of things about the traditional ways about how to gather medicine and those types of things. There's a lot of conversation, informal conversations, people doing that. And then there's going to be a teepee that's raised. There's going to be a pipe ceremony tonight. Tomorrow, we believe that Bill Nye, the science guy, is coming to visit, and maybe do a sweat lodge. And with any luck, our Phil and Kyle and Brian DeHeer will be coming, and they hopefully can sit in the same lodge with Bill Nye. I participated in a sweat last night, and it was a powerful experience. It was challenging and also a big honor to be invited into that space and experience something I've never experienced before. And they were very helpful in facilitating and being clear about what to expect. And there was a bonus round of sweat, so you basically go in and do prayers and songs and ceremonies for 5 or 10 15 minutes. I don't know actually how long it is. It seems timeless. But you go in for a while, and there's water and hot rocks and steam and herbs, and at the end of it, then they open the door and you can take a break and drink water, and then they reset the room, the lodge, and then you go back in, and we did 4 rounds of that, and the 4th round was an optional super hot round. And I ended up laying down. I was laying down on the ground because it was a lot, and there's a lot going on for me that came up that I wasn't expecting, that exceeded what was already happening. And there was a lot of honoring and prayer for our group. They were welcoming us and just saying prayers for all of our participants, including the ones that are biking today, and for their safety. So we were brought into that circle in a powerful way.
First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Lazar Whiskey Jack, First Nations, Cree Nation, from the Cree people in Saddle Lake, Alberta. There's a lot of significant meanings of teepee depending on how you use it. Like some live in here, but us, we use it for ceremonial purposes nowadays. It's used for ceremonies and healing and stuff. But the meaning of these poles are these teepee poles. The wood, it represents a home too. It represents a home, a family. This teepee, it's a family way of living, and it's a first mobile home ever Indians used a long time ago. So they used it to live in here. But nowadays, the meaning of these poles, usually in these ceremonies, we use 4 poles up here, represents the 4 directions. The mental, physical, emotional, spiritual part of this teepee when people come in here for healing. And we always have the 4 nations, like the east, south, west, north. We have the oriental people, the east, our people, the south, colored people to the west, and white people to the north. 4 colors we use, 4 race of people, like we're all people, we're all God's children. So, but this way was given to us. We're the keepers of these lands, us First Nations. We pray about our lands, and we don't. That's why we use this teepee for healing and stuff. And that's the meaning of this teepee to me. Represents a mother, givers of life, the womb. Like this, her ribs. This is her ribs. We come in here to heal too, and we have protocols in here that we do. And the rope you see, when you was born to come to this world, we were connected to our mother. Umbilical cord is yeah. So when you cut that cord, you're on your own, I guess, more or less, on your own. But this rope too represents that there's a creator that owns us. There's a creator that we worship. We have to worship the creator, because at the end of our lifeline, till we get old and gray, we move to the other side, Then we go to the next life cycle, So this represents a lot of meaning to us First Nations. So I use it. I never practiced it till about 36 years ago when I was young. And I've been doing this. I've been sober ever since too. It gave me a different way of thinking about life. It gave me a new life because I was from residential schools. So I learned all this from my elders and through spirit, through connecting to the higher power. That's how I learned how to do these ways. I teach my children, my grandchildren. So basically that's what it is. It's a family way of, it's a home. And that will provide everything for you. You'll put this teepee up. It will provide you bills you need to pay. If you're sick, there's a way in here you can get well. And I know a lot of people have got well from incurable diseases in this circle. So that's how we use it today. That's what it's about. And basically that's simple as I can put it. Yeah.
Truck back. So Kyle, at this point I'm thinking we've probably hit our 1,000-mile mark and probably our 100-mile mark. Or at least we're close enough that I'm going to make it a video.
Well, this we're now officially crossing the thousands. We've divided our distance by 1,000 and we've just crossed that point. Like that.
Alright.
We don't know thousands of what, because that'll have to be it. But
either way, today is a really long ass day, and I think we're gonna make it.
Like you can see, like right, warm.
everything until they discovered oil, and then it became a big oil rush, just like the gold rush.
It was actually oil being drilled, or they were drilling for natural gas along the Athabasca River in the 1890s.
We're gonna go. I think what I understand is we're gonna go have a look at a tailings pond because this is on the edge of the tar sands development. So we should hopefully be able to see the expanse of the tar sands that have not been remediated or touched whatsoever.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right, let's go for it.
See, obviously there's no other trails that go up there, so we're only supposed to be around here, nowhere else. See, look at private road, do not enter.
It's probably all dug up and stuff already.
Dug up already, yeah. Well, this is what they call reclaiming land. After all the oil and the bitumen's taken out of the land, and that's what the First Nations are saying to the companies that are coming up here, that they have to write it into their impact benefit agreements that they have to reclaim the land after they're finished with it. So we know that it's basically impossible to completely reclaim a land to be what it was. The whole point is to make it, turn it back to what it was originally, but that's very hard to do. You cannot completely reclaim a wetland because it takes thousands of years to build that kind of ecosystem, and to be able to do it by another means and quicker, it's just not the same.
Sure.
So you're not going to have the same plants and animals and that kind of thing.
So it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
They're saying they're going to reclaim it, but it's not really.
That's
being
right.
reclaimed.
Yeah. So I just want to look here where it says there's the early development of Suncor's first oil sands mine, and they landscaped it. It's supposed to be a storage for excess tailings, and then it started being filled with fresh water. So yes, this is a man-made lake. It wasn't here before. It was made after the development of the work that the mining company did. So now it's filled in and it's become, apparently got fresh water in there. So I don't know if I would swim in it, but apparently there's ducks that go there and they don't die. So that's a good sign. There's a lot of ducks come here and they see the tailings ponds and they think this is a place to land. All they do is see water. They come and land and they're coated with oil and toxic sludge, and it kills them. There were 1,600 ducks that were killed here a few years ago. They have to count them. Before they would just take them and throw them away and nobody would know. But now there's so much out there in the media about the birds dying, and that they don't hide it anymore, and so it's definitely in the public eye and in the public awareness to be aware of that these birds are being killed by these tailing ponds. And where we're going by, you'll see they've got different methods of keeping the birds away. So they've got water, they've got cannons, they've got scarecrows, they've got different types of strategies to deal with it. So I don't know if it completely works all the time, but not all the time, because you wouldn't have the dead birds. So, but that was one of my relatives' jobs, was to go a few years back, probably about 10, 20 years ago, to actually go with a bag and collect all the dead animals and throw them in the bag and dispose of it, and that was his job. So now they don't do that because they can't get away with, companies can't get away with hiding things like that, even though I'm sure they still try. Because you hear stories, right, about what happens behind the scenes and stuff they do not want the general public to know about. So here, use the land as a stockpiling area for muskeg. Yeah, we live in muskeg country, and muskeg is like peat. It's like peatland. It absorbs water, and so it's very wet, and it's acidic, and it's it's a really important part of the ecosystem in the boreal forest in the north. So just to let you know how our circle goes here. This this road goes straight across over there, and we'll go around and then back this way. If you go straight up there, it goes towards Fort McKay, but we're not going to go to Fort McKay. We're going to come back in a loop, and it will end here again.
I'll just be the lead truck.
Because you know where to go. Now we're going to make the 4 stops.
We'll make the 4.
Yep.
Yeah, 1.
Anybody bother you?
No.
So I'm just like here.
I've been sort of waiting for security to
before they even touch that water.
Wow.
So it's okay. Just put water on the ground. And our tobacco. Do we have tobacco? Any open tobacco? That's for sure. That means that we would get electrocuted if we tried to climb, which I wouldn't want to do anyway.
No, that used to be a natural reservoir.
No, I think they just
part of the mine.
They just dug it out and then put all the tailings or the water, right, and just drained it in there.
Well, it's part of the ongoing. Like these mines kind of just move along. They're always moving. They're always moving.
That works. Seems to work. Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
150-mile day.
Yeah, it sucked. Don't ever do this, kids. Riding your bike is a lot of hard work.
So, you know, so depending on if we attempt to ride into McMurray bike-wise, this might be journey's end. But we are in Anzac with Trail Angel Brian.
So where's your address for the destination?
I guess I better look it up.